Hello, welcome to Stories. Story about Omar the second caliph. Omar ibn Khattab was a great caliph. He became caliph after Abu Bakr, who was himself a friend of Omar and a pupil of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Omar was a very just man. He was ready to see his own son punished. He lived like a poor man, and when there was no rain in the Hijaz, he never ate meat or oil, but shared the hard life to his people. He was always ready to follow the good advice of others. Once he was walking in Medina at night, he went past a house where he heard a baby crying. He thought that the mother was asleep, so he called her and went on. When he came back, he heard the same baby crying. Again, he called the mother. She looked out of the window, but she didn't recognize him. She said, "The caliph does not give an allowance for babies. So what can I do to feed a hungry child?" The next morning, Omar found out that baby belonged to a soldier. He gave an allowance for babies, and it became a rule from that time. Omar had a very great desire for justice. He never made his own people favorites. He followed the law and did not care whom he punished or what might happen. The son of the governor of Egypt and an Egyptian once ran a race, and the Egyptian won. The governor's son whipped the Egyptian and said, "I'm the son of a great people." The Egyptian reported this to the caliph, who wrote the well-known sentence to Omar ibn Ilyas, the governor of Egypt: "When did you enslave people whose mothers bore them free?" The son of the governor of Egypt had to go to Medina. The caliph called the Egyptian and the governor's son to him. Then he took a whip and gave it to the Egyptian and said, "Now be the son of a great people." Omar was a just man and never proud. He was no humble that he refused to have a bodyguard. He walked alone at night and saw that his people were well. He used to say, "If a god died on the banks of the Euphrates, I think that God would ask me about it." One day his friends found him sleeping in the open air away from Medina. They were surprised to find that the caliph, whose life was so important, had fallen asleep in such a place. "How could you sleep here?" they asked. "I'm just man, and so I felt safe and slept." Omar's sayings are many. His life was an example to other men. He has been very important in the history of Islam. People love and respect him so much that we feel he still lives with us. We can imagine him walking quickly about with a little whip in his hand. People feared him, but they also loved and respected him. Perhaps this story is one of the best known. It shows that he loved children. Once he saw a woman stirring something in a pot and some children crying around her. He came nearer and asked her to give something to the children because they were crying from hunger. She called him to the pan. He saw that she was stirring water only. He hurried to the government store and carried back a bag of flour. He came to the crying children and asked them to be quiet while he cooked something for them. He poured flour into the boiling water, but put more wood on the fire, and with his long beard he knelt down and began to blow. Our children always imagine him either carrying a bag on his back or blowing the fire to cook for little children, as shown this figure.